welcome to Games is Lit 101. What? Okay, no, let's try this again. Seriously? Okay. Oh, there you go. It's Christmas time! I'm a big fan of Christmas. It was my favorite holiday growing up, and it's my favorite holiday now. It's just a great time of year. There won't be an episode on the week of Christmas itself, because I need to be with my family, but that does mean that now is the time to bring something up. Video games do not have a particularly strong Christmas lineup. As much as I love Christmas, it's no secret that it's probably the most over-commercialized thing in the history of ever, but video games still seem to be almost entirely devoid of that commercialization. Sure, the industry will play the Christmas card when they're trying to get people to buy their games, but the games themselves barely ever breach the subject. So, I'm going to go through the annals of video game history and bring us the greatest examples of holiday cheer this medium has to offer. Be right back. Oh, okay, well that's not really what I had in mind. Wait, what? No, that's... how... what? Well, there weren't many. Okay, so there's some old, NES platformers or something where you play as Santa, but that's just what the sprite looked like, It wasn't even really about Christmas, just, playing as Santa. It's a little gimmick. There's some recent DLC, I suppose, but I really doubt that Saints Row was the first series to just nail the Christmas spirit in interactive form. Really, what it mostly comes down to is just a bunch of little Facebook games and online freeware puzzle games and just... okay, no. What the heck? I mean, this holiday is one of the most exploited things in the history of ever. Everything tries to do this, but even the worst examples of exploiting this holiday still try and mean something. They're about childlike faith, or the heart of the Christmas spirit across generations, or generosity toward those less fortunate. I mean, for crying out loud, Die Hard has more Christmas spirit than this entire medium combined.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
This is ridiculous. Alright, so now this episode's about something different. Where the heck are all of our Christmas games? As I mentioned before, Christmas is so over-commercialized it's almost comical, and yet video games are really the only medium in the pop culture sphere that don't take advantage of that. That seems really strange to me, and I find myself wondering why our medium in particular is so lacking in works that celebrate one of the most beloved times of the year. Well, part of it probably has to do with violence. I mean, not all video games are graphically violent, obviously, but they do still usually rely on a struggle between life and death, both in the gameplay and the story. Generally speaking, violence, however mild, is the way to solve problems in video games, and that's not really what Christmas is about. It's about kindness and generosity and the importance of family and the birth of Jesus Christ of all people. Violence doesn't really fit too well into the meaning of Christmas. Not to say it's impossible to combine these themes with violence, but you do have to do it very carefully, and it's not particularly easy to do without coming across as kind of hypocritical. Even Rise of the Guardians, a movie with plenty of action, didn't solve the ultimate problem of the story through violence, but through faith and caring. And most classic Christmas movies don't even go that far, instead focusing on character drama and social issues to focus on themes like faith, generosity, and the importance of family. So maybe video games just aren't quite mature enough to figure out how to combine these themes with a violent story, or perhaps even to just develop compelling but non-violent gameplay in order to tell a more drama-centric tale. It wouldn't really be the only area in which video games could use some more maturity, really. It might also have to do with the idea of Christmas traditions. Tradition plays a pretty major part in the whole holiday, with families tending to set up specific activities that they return to year after year. I remember for me, the tradition was always that we would start celebrating Christmas the day after Thanksgiving, so we'd wake up and decorate the tree, put up the lights, listen to Christmas music the whole time we did it, and end the day with a Christmas movie chosen from our VHS collection and a bowl of clam chowder for dinner. Good times. Point is, when a Christmas movie or song or children's book or something gets popular, it tends to be revisited by families year after year, and it becomes sort of a tradition. This plays into a work's marketability as well as its perceived cultural value over time. Video games don't really have that same type of replayability, at least not yet. Even the most replayable games tend to be revisited by specific people playing through the game again, not entire families at once. Whatever the reason, there certainly is a shortage of meaningful Christmas games, but I really don't think there has to be. I'd love to see more games try and celebrate this holiday, so what might that look like, I wonder? Well, it's not entirely impossible to combine action, violence, and Christmas themes. No, I'm not actually talking about Die Hard here. We all know that is the best Christmas movie, but I have to admit, it doesn't really exemplify the themes of the Christmas spirit and the ideals that come with it. You know what, let's actually look at a kid's show instead. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, for instance, is all about the same types of things we value at Christmas time, and it still manages to get a few epic battle scenes in. It does this by requiring the main characters to exemplify these virtues, friendship, kindness, generosity, loyalty, honesty, and laughter, in order to battle an outside threat. Similar to how Rise of the Guardians handled things until the climax, so we could do something like that. But if that's all we ever did, then would video games ever have a Christmas Carol? Or an It's a Wonderful Life? So many classic Christmas stories, and everything they stand for, really, just don't mesh well with how we tend to make games right now. Designing a game so you can tell a non-violent story while still having engaging gameplay is difficult, but really only because we've done so tragically little of it. The design theory necessary to get over that gap is being worked on, and I can guarantee you that we'll be revisiting the topic later on in the show. For now, though, I know I'm going to be thinking of ways that we could get over this, and maybe some indie developers will do the same, and sometime in the next few years, we'll get the first interactive experience to truly encapsulate the spirit of the greatest holiday of the year. Are there some games I just don't know about? Or do you have any ideas about how we might adapt this holiday and its values into our medium? Talk about it in the comments, and let's see what we can come up with. Next week, we'll be celebrating Christmas, so enjoy the holiday, however you celebrate it, and a week after that, we'll be returning to start a two-part series on how video games form a link between player and protagonist. So until then, Merry Christmas, and class dismissed.